Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You what? God design, God design.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Sorry, I'm a little late, but you know what time it is, a little bit past 7. But we slow, but we for sure. We here today, y'all. What's happening? Tell me something good. Talk to me. If you don't know, welcome to the Boerboel Show, where we discuss this breed that we love. We feel is the absolute best breed on earth. No other dog compares. It's the perfect dog for the modern society. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman with Exotic Boerboels, and I'm nutty and crazy and what they say, unhinged about a Boerboel. I've been involved with the breed for over 17 years, intimately, daily, made many sacrifices, and because of that, I can speak from a standpoint of experience. So today, we're going to be comparing the Boerboel to a bunch of different Mastiff breeds. I mean, because the Boerboel is a distinct, it's very special. Right? The Boerboel is highly contentious. Right? A lot of people feel like, the Boerboel should be this way, the Boerboel should be that way. What is a real Boerboel? It's highly controversial. What makes the breed? What makes the breed what it is? And
Here's Alan.
hey,
What's up, brother?
what's up, dog man?
All right, man.
What's up, dog man?
Is we on? Is we on or what?
Yeah, man, we in here, man. I was a little slow, man. I couldn't get in. I had to set it all up, but I made it, though, man.
Okay, I think I was in the wrong studio, man. I was messing around. We got to get it together.
What's going on with my bro?
Man, chilling. Another good, blessed week in the books, man. Ready? Missed the show first and foremost. Missed the show the last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
3
2
weeks.
weeks. It's 2 weeks, yeah, because the 1 week it was a hurricane season down there, right?
Yeah. We kept having all these storms, and my internet was out, so I couldn't get on.
Yeah. And then last week, man, I was just, I just was overwhelmed. I ain't even gonna lie, I ain't gonna fake it out. I was overwhelmed, and I needed that time to reflect and catch up and build myself back up and rest and recover, man.
Catch a quick breath and move side on out.
Yeah, but I'm back though, and I wasn't going nowhere, and I didn't want to let my board buddies down. I wanted to make sure that y'all understand, it's just a little bit too much. We've been thinking and contemplating about breaking it down and going only once or twice a month. We're gonna sleep on that though, because we don't want to let y'all down. But at the end of the day, man, it's a lot of preparation that goes into the show. And it just takes, we want to give y'all our very best, nothing less than the very best.
Yep.
So
this is very, very fun, and we love it. But it is sort of work too at the same time. It takes work to make it happen.
Yeah, because we're not just giving y'all anything, right? Yep. We're not going to just come on here and then just start talking. We're going to do our homework. We're going to do our research. We get our facts straight so we can deliver y'all some valuable information, some news that you can use, some tools that you can use.
There you go.
Yeah. So this week, big bro, I'm glad that you're here, man, because it really, man, I didn't realize how much you contribute, how much until you was gone. You don't miss the well till the water is gone. You don't miss the well till the water is gone. Yeah, but I'm glad to have you back, big bro, man. How the puppies?
They're doing good. They are 3.5 weeks old, so they're 3.5 weeks old. They're doing good, man. I started mush just yesterday. I usually start at 3.5 weeks, and so they're taking good to it already, man. They're taking good to it. My process from the first day of mush to being completely on mush and off of mom is about 3 or 4 days. So, yep. Today is day 2 and they're liking it. So shoot, I might expedite it some and make tomorrow the last day.
Okay. So you're gonna take the mom away?
Yep. I might take her away. Definitely by Monday. In my head, I had Saturday or Sunday, but I'll do it by Monday. I'm thinking by Monday I'll have it done when they're a little bit over 4 weeks.
So explain that a little bit. So what is the benefits, the advantages to moving the mom away? Why?
So this mom in particular. So this is just an isolated case. This mom doesn't produce the most abundant amount of milk anyway. So I take her away so I can focus more on the puppies and get them more socialized with myself and handled by humans. Now, I know that the mother still plays a large, significant part in the puppy's development all the way up to 8 weeks. So she plays a large part in teaching the puppies how to behave like dogs and how to act like dogs and stuff. But I have a female on my yard that's good at substituting that, even though she's not the natural mother. So I'll take my other female away because I like to get them. Because one of my things in my brain is if the female keeps coming around the puppies and you're not letting her feed on them, she's still gonna be generating milk when she hears the puppies crying, and they're still gonna be wanting to nurse on her and all that good stuff like that. So I bring in another animal, bring in another female, so they get used to another dog, and it starts my preparation to being like, there's more than just this initial core. There's other dogs that you might have to initiate into your pack one day, depending on the family you're going to.
Right. Yep.
So I have a few little Gibby philosophies in my head. Might not be the best philosophies, but I have a few little Gibby things going on.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's in many ways to skin a cat. It's more than skin a cat. And that's what's working, man. Let's roll with it, man.
Yes, sir.
So listen, though, big bro. Today we're gonna get into we're gonna try to breaking down why the Boerboel is so fantastic. Why the Boerboel is different than the English Mastiff, the Tibetan Mastiff, the French Mastiff, the Neapolitan Mastiff, all of these other Mastiff breeds that basically have lost essentially their functional value, their place in the world as a working dog. And why the Boerboel is so different. I mean, because you start talking about, a freshly standardized breed, we don't want to suffer the same consequences as these other breeds. We should learn from them.
Yep. So there's countless Mastiffs, like you said. There's the English Mastiff, the Italian Mastiff, the ones from the Canary Islands. You got the Brazilian Mastiff. That joker's crazy. You got that. A lot of people don't know that the Great Dane is the German Mastiff. So you have all these Mastiffs, which are Mastiffs are extremely large dogs. They're usually going to be 120 pounds plus. So and all of these Mastiffs, first you got to know that just about every region developed their own massive dog, which in turn is a Mastiff that is generalized to that area. So you have all these Mastiffs that were built as guard dogs, dogs of war, and protection dogs. So you have the Mastiff.
Right, and with that role of them being in that protection role, the guardian role, the livestock role, even in warfare, all of the breeds tend to have this reoccurring theme of strength, power, loyalty, working ability, right? These are the things that define what a Mastiff is. And across the board, it's like a universal characteristic principle. So the standards were developed, the English, the Neo, the French, the German, everyone have a large dog. And the standard is what defines the dog and makes the breed. It makes everybody is breeding towards the standard. So we're going to talk about that because it's fundamental, like logically, it doesn't always seem to make sense. Well, we want to make perfect sense out of it, right? Give people a great understanding of, like how we select dogs, the impacts that it has, the way that the standard affects the totality of the dog that we arrive at today. And I think that's an important thing to understand. like I said, a lot of these Mastiff breeds, they're not even desired as much, right? You're talking about the Neapolitan Mastiff, all of those health concerns that they have, the hip dysplasia, the elbow dysplasia,
Yes.
the skin infections, the heart conditions. Every single Mastiff breed, the Bull Mastiff, all of them are suffering from hip dysplasia, elbow dysplasia. That's across the board. The
Yes.
French Mastiff, every Mastiff has that. And that's something that a fate that we rather not have for the Boerboel breed. What we want to try to do with the Boerboel is what are the things that makes it so attractive? This great level of intelligence, the working ability, the health is one of the most healthiest of all the Mastiff breeds. And we want to maintain its usefulness, its purpose. And if we continue to go by the previous standards, let's take a look at what that standardized dog breeding and breeding towards the standard, the fate that it has fared, the English Mastiff, the Neapolitan Mastiff, the Bull Mastiff, the French Mastiff, and any other standardized Mastiff breeds that have been contributing for these long amount of many of years as they have been contributing. The English Mastiff was standardized in 1883, 100 years prior to the Boerboel. And we can learn so much from that because the standard has defined, in my opinion, it's the people was criticizing me, bro. I was on another show and I even made the claim, I've made the point, the suggestion, why are the breeders not writing their standards and defining their breeding programs? That was my suggestion. Maybe that's something that we should think about.
Oh, my youngin just walked in. I had to tell him, give me a minute. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Tell him I say what up.
He ran off somewhere now.
But yeah, so the English Mastiff, one of the things, basically the way that these dogs are selected, the way that these traits, these exaggerations, when we start to breed towards these exaggerations, like we started talking about with the English Mastiff and the size, right? So what happens, and I think there's a very key point to understand when you start going by a breed standard, when you say a large size dog, typically what tends to happen is you got a large sampling of dogs that come to the show, and the largest dog tends to be favored, even though he may not have all of the other traits assigned to the breed. But because it's large and imposing, big, you end up getting bigger and bigger. And that's where we started getting into these exaggerations. When they say wrinkled head, then we start going for the dog with the most wrinkles. And what happens is because genes come in groups and packages, when you tend to lean towards and tip the scale in favor of one trait, you start to lose health and functionality. Right?
It's America. We tend to like bigger and consider bigger better. We like exaggerated stuff. We like it overdone. Some of the time that's to the detriment of whatever it is we're trying to create or reproduce or keep at a certain way. Unfortunately, the bigger the dog, just like with most things in life, the bigger the animal, the more there is to go wrong. There's more bone. There's more bone and potential for something to be wrong in this joint or in that joint. Heavier, bigger, it doesn't always equal better. And again, like I said, it's just more that can go wrong in that development. That's why we have to be really precise in what we're doing when we're putting males and females together and we're looking at the generation 2 above of what on both sides of what they've produced before. And so you're trying to figure out what you're going to get, right? So you got to be careful with that.
Be very extremely careful because we're talking about, in these dogs, we want to maintain the working ability. We don't want to go too far in the exaggerations. If you start thinking about a working border collie, right? They have to have that athleticism. They have to have agility. They have to have mobility. And these things are actively pursued. These are priorities in the selection process of border collies. So because it has to be able to herd. Whereas the show lines, they're looking at little things like the nose, is it pointy? Is the eyes? And they have not put any priority or emphasis on, can this dog actually do what it was originally designed and purpose for? So when you start looking at selecting a dog strictly because of the way that it looks and secondary to the actual abilities, you start getting into all type of issues. Dogs that were originally used for guarding or protection, end up becoming completely ineffective because the emphasis is primarily on the appearance. And we want to make sure that this is something that every breeder should have a criteria for their breeding animals, and they should be able to readily explain why I'm pairing these two dogs together and what is our goal in the next generation. How do we aim to improve?
What are you trying to do with this breeding, and how does it fit your overall accomplishments or the overall desire for your program? So what is your end goal, and how does this breeding help you get a step towards it? And then when you get your next breeding, how is that going to get you a step closer to your end goal of what you're trying to create? So everybody might have a different end goal, but we have to work with each other to kind of, like you said, keep it in the standards, but still be able to get that diversity in there so the gene pool stays healthy and doesn't get stagnant. Because if you keep just producing the same thing over and over again, pretty soon there's going to be a crack in that DNA. There's going to be a crack, and now you're stuck someplace. So you don't want to breed yourself into a corner.
Right, exactly. And we have to identify and understand exactly what we're doing, right? Because we haven't necessarily we didn't have breeding as a class, as a course in school. It's a part of science or biology. They didn't ever teach us the science of breeding. So it's something that needs to be understood. We all should get along or get on the same page of at least understanding these type of questions and answers we're supposed to have, right? We need to be able to identify what exactly are we breeding towards, because we don't want to lose what is become extremely valuable. For example, with the bulldog, how the preference for the shorter muzzle has caused for those dogs to become extremely brachycephalic. Where they can't breathe and they have these issues with breathing and they can't run and they can't do any of the thing that the original bulldog was designed to do. Like it don't have the courage, it doesn't have the tenacity because they don't have the ability. Their frame, their size, their appearance has basically washed away their abilities to be able to perform the task that they were designed for.
They couldn't bull bait for nothing now. Be dead in 30 seconds trying to bull bait.
He done passed out running to the bull. He done passed out.
Yeah. He wouldn't be able to bull bait for nothing. So that's a whole different, it'll take a while if you use the English bulldog as an example, because it's a far cry from what it is, except for maybe the height. Except for the height, it's a far cry.
Yeah, and see, like, we want to make sure that we stand diverse. So what happens when a dog like that is championed or won and selected because of the exaggerations of being favored, everyone tends to breed towards that dog, and it tips the balance of the gene pool. And then what happens is, yes, we increase our probability of having the large head or the larger size dog, but at the same time, we're increasing the risk for genetic disorders. So if everybody is breeding towards the same exact standard, what we end up happening is we end up with the same type of dog with the same flaws as well as benefits, the same pros as well as the cons across the board. And like you said, there is no way to breed out. There is no solution for these problems that we have arrived at. So that's where my main ideology of, hey, because we all so different, because we coming from different areas, down south in Texas, y'all may require a different style dog if you're in an urban environment versus a rural environment. And because I'm a breeder in an urban environment, I should be able to explain why this dog is going to fit into your lifestyle. Or if it's in a rural environment, why would it not? Why it may be a better selected dog for you. We have to be able to identify these different roles and environments that the dog will be able to fit in and survive and thrive in. This is helping us to define our dog and our breeding program. I mean, because if you think about it nowadays, we just don't have the I go and get back and forth with the Corso guys with this all the time, because they constantly saying and that the Boerboel lacks the protective instincts, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And he's not that dog that's gonna seek and destroy. He's not gonna chase somebody down out the blind, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas the Corso, yeah, he can do all of that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's way more athletic, way more effective. But this is 2024. And I posed the question to Comedic Kennels in Chicago. Have you ever had a situation that calls for your dog to actually go in and hit something? To actually go in, and he say no. I say, okay. But he did have an issue where somebody had their dog was there at the house. The person went, was being followed by attempted kidnapping or carjacking or whatever. Assailant followed the lady home. She gets there, the dog busts out the door, rips the guy up, does some serious damage. And when the lady ended up in court, right? Dog in jail, the dog pound, and they have to pay daily. They had to pay daily while the dog was in the impound, right? Then you got to get a lawyer. So the amount of inconvenience where today, 2024, you have to deal with the laws. You have to go by the ordinances. Anytime your dog bites someone, you automatically at fault. And then we're talking about a serious bite with a Boerboel. This is going to end up. Look at all of the breed-specific legislation that the County Corso is facing.
Yeah. And you gotta look at the difference in environments where these dogs were first procured and developed in, right? So if you go back to South Africa back in the day when these dogs were developed to defend the cattle in the homeland against the apex predators like lions, hyenas, even stuff like bamboos, you gotta look that these animals are highly intelligent ambush animals. A lion is an ambush animal, right? These animals hunt, stalk their prey, and they use deception to fool them, right? So if you take a Corso and put it in South Africa, and that Corso sees a lion 100, 200 yards away, that Corso is going, and he's going to take off after that lion, and that smart lioness is going to lure him away and either ambush him or lure him away while the rest of the pack circles around and attacks the cattle and kills the cattle. So that's why the Corso is attacking that lion. The Boerboel is going to assess, I see you 200 yards away, I'm not attacking, I'm guarding. I'm going to sit right here and defend my cattle to the death right here. So just because it doesn't chase and attack something doesn't mean it's scary. It's thinking, I'm staying here. I'm going to fight to the death in front of my family. Now, if you come within these 200 yards, you will feel this bite. But I'm not protecting nothing 500 yards away, and I'm not dying 500 yards away from my cattle. I'm dying and protecting my cattle right in front of me. So that's where the difference is. I tell people a Boerboel is not an attack dog. You just don't point and say, go get it. But that motherfucker will protect you.
And it's
that's what's going to come get you.
It's 2024, right?
It's liability. If somebody breaks in my house and my dog doesn't take him out, they say they jump out a window and run away. If my dog jumps out the window and chases that man or woman or whatever 5 blocks down the neighborhood and kills it, that's a liability. You in trouble. The dog's getting put down and you're getting sued.
Right.
The dog needs to be able to guard its property, not guard 3 blocks down, 4 blocks down in pursuit.
Right. I mean, you know what? And that's a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, that's the way that the dogs fit in. Right. Yeah. It's 2024. And I mean, let's just face it. We not like it's not vigilante season. Where hey, listen, somebody tried to come through and we're gonna deal with them, right? It's not that type of, that's not that type of time. And let's just be realistic with ourselves, right? Let's say I know you got a dog that bites, and I'm determined, and I done made up in my mind, you got something that I want, I'm coming to get it. Or I gotta come and I'm coming in there regardless if the dog is in there. So I already know your dog bite. I done had a situation where I know someone that had some dudes walk him in the house and they tell him, you know, this was maybe like 10, 15 years ago. They tell him, man, put them dogs up for real. If you want to keep them, or I'm putting them down. And they walk in the dude in the house or whatever and tied him up, or whatever, is, you know, robbed him. I had another
there's
situation.
times to have an attack dog and there's time to have a guard dog. So there's times where you need to be able to take this Corso and say, get him. Or this Corso thinks I'm going to go get him. There's times you need that. And then there's times you need a reserved guard dog that I'm going to bulk up and I'm not leaving this area. And this is where I'm dictating we fighting here. I'm not fighting on your grounds, on your time. I'm fighting here. So it depends on if you need a dog to attack or to guard. It's just difference. None of them are right or wrong. It's just, what do you need?
And that's what makes the Boerboel so unique. That was really the sum total of this argument that I'm presenting today. Because the breeders in South Africa were breeding the dog for purpose, not just because it looked, they had, that's why we have so many different looks. They were breeding the dog for purpose and effectiveness based off of their individual regions or whatever, the dog that they needed for their farm. They were basically defining their own standard. And they say, some people will say, well, I need a dog that can hound and have a little bit more scenting and detection abilities because of the type of obstacles that we facing on this side. You know, we got coyotes or we got leopards and we tracking them down. And I want a dog to be able to smell that leopard from a distance. So I'm going to include a little bit more hound. And this is, to me, is seems more logical, more practical when you start talking about preserving a breed. If we're looking at comparing to the other breeds that failed, that are no longer desirable. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if people are looking for a protection breed, they say, oh, I'm looking at the Corso, the Pressa, the Boerboel, all new, modernly standardized, purebred dogs. This is not something that's been, well, you know, they don't have these standards, but according to the AKC, this is newly introduced as rare breeds, as pure breeds, right?
Yeah.
In their homeland, in their land of origin, they are still performing tasks, working the farms, working the land, being selected for these desired characteristics that give them purpose and usefulness, not because the ears or the head or so on and so forth. When we start getting into those fancy, the connoisseur, fancy type of points, and we're going to say we're going to wash this dog away because he doesn't have the proper passerings, he doesn't have the proper angulation in the rear. To me, that's not considering the totality of the dog, and it's a shallow way to breed. It's a shallow way to breed. It's like, okay, I like you because you tall and you slim, or because you short and thick. But we're not really taking in the true essence and the character of the individual dog or the individual breeding program or the individual person. And that is a definitely something to factor in when you start talking about the original Boerboel. Because if you go pull up on the farm where they herding goat, and he said, look, man, this is the perfect dog for the goats. Think about the way that it performs. Look at how it serves me. Look at how it fits in. Or I pull up to the farm in the north, and their dogs is bigger because they're going up against hyenas. Yeah. So I'm here, and I got to calculate, what best works for me. That was the original way back in the day before dogs was standardized. This is how dogs were selected and chosen as to be included into the new family. Then I develop a family, so I gonna find that I got a hyena dog over here and I got a leopard dog over here. But what I'm facing is coyotes or wild dogs. Yeah. So I'm gonna select the best dog to fit that role, and then I'm gonna be able to explain. This dog, that the exotic Boerboel that I breed, he head to toe. I want him to be able to run. I want him to be able to work. I want him to be able to be impressive and large, mild-mannered, not too aggressive, not too unmanageable. These are the things that have. This is the way that the Boerboel has evolved. This is what makes our dogs so raw. This is what makes the Boerboel raw. Why are we trying to take the Boerboel and do with the things that failed the other breeds.
Yeah,
Come on now. Help me make sense of that. It don't make
It-
no sense to me. And
There's
I'm
no
wondering,
sense.
none. And then if you think about all the breeds that is being desired, the Connie Corso, Presa Canaria, the modern style of popular guard dogs. I mean, ain't nobody buying Dobermans. Ain't nobody looking for Doberman. I mean, you got some people. I ain't gonna knock the Doberman down all the way to the ground, but they not as
They had their day. They had their day in the 70s and the 80s, a little bit in the 90s. They had their day.
they
Uh,
had their time.
the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You
Is that
can't keep doing the same thing and hoping it turns out different the next time. If you did it this time and you did it 500 times before and it turned out the same way 500 times, the 505th time is going to turn out what? The same way. So, yeah. So that's the definition of insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
and that's what has that is what is failing us as a society for the last 200 years, the standardized dog breeding, the ideology behind standardized dog breeding. If you could point me out to 5 breeds that they have served and they have evolved in a way that is better in the breed, if you can give me 5 examples, anybody can give me 5 examples, right? If anybody could give me 5 examples of 5 different dog breeds, it's particular working breeds where the show counterpart is more effective than the working counterpart, then I will say, you know what, I'm gonna end my campaign for the advocacy of breeders defining their breeding program, breeding towards their own individual standards. And I'm not saying rewrite the standard or try to throw away or do away with the standard. If you breeding towards the breed standard, the AKC show standard or whatever, say that then, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's everybody could be breeding towards that. And then at the end of the day, let's compare. Now let's measure. Let's formulate a real test and prove what your dog can do. I'm going at me and my bro. We going to do a competition. I'm so tired of hearing about his Corsos and how bad that they is. I'm going to show him. You see what I'm saying? And we're gonna be able to distinguish value, right?
Okay.
Hey, look, we're gonna have a competition. Sit down, sit, come, stay, lay. You see what I'm saying? And now we can be able to say, okay, this dog is able to train, but because hands down, everybody with a Corso know that they ain't got nowhere near close to the power of a Boerboel. Yeah, nowhere near close. And I love a Corso. I love the Corso family, but we all compare, and at the end of the day, it's 2 different ideas. It's 2 different dogs. It's 2 different ideas of ideal. You know what I mean? So we want, the end of the day, let's go back over this. English Mastiff, Bull Mastiff, French Mastiff, Neo Mastiff. All of these dogs were traditional guardians, supposed to be able to work, supposed to be able to hunt, supposed to be utility, primary role as a guardian, primary role as a protector. None of those dogs that's been standardized can effectively perform those. I don't see them at all in the working competitions. Where are the Bull Mastiffs? Where are the English Mastiffs?
Yeah.
Right.
They're more pets. They're more pets. Yeah. I'm gonna put this up there. And Boerboels have nowhere near the stamina and athleticism of Corso. So it's probably true that the Corso is the last of the sight hounds, the last of the coursing mastiffs. If we made this statement 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have said that the Corso was still the healthiest of all the Mastiffs. So I think that's gone away. Corso is no longer the healthiest of the Mastiffs because of epilepsy and heart failures and the cherry eyes and placebo of all the different things they have now. I believe the Boerboel is the healthiest of the Mastiffs, right?
The healthiest, the most powerful. See, this is another thing, and this is brother that said that the force multiplier. That's exactly who I want to. I really wish you could get on, man. Let me post the link, and if you really want to make your position, and we can have a discussion about it, because I'm gonna tell you something, bro. The Corso is a bad dog, and I think maybe probably what you didn't have was one of them direct dogs, that's been cultivated and handled specifically for the modern society, right? Because you had a dog, he had the dog Cairo's daddy, and it was like mind blowing to me because I had Cairo and I got Joku, which is the Cairo's son. I mean, the son of Rex. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is it's a lot of Boerboels that cannot outwork and cannot perform with the Corso. But the real Boerboel, hands down, outdo him every time. Boerboel's bite force way more powerful than the Corso. Everything, but I'm not taking away from the Corso, because the Corso is a heck of a dog. It's gonna get in there and it's gonna take care of business first. If it's the second breed that I would have over a Boerboel. Well, after a Boerboel. But the reason that I'm pointing out the Corso is because I feel that they are more similar than they are different. The Boerboel and the Corso have so much to offer to modern society. They're the perfect, whereas the traditional Mastiffs, they just don't fit in.
Yeah.
Listen, man, where are you at, bro? Where is you at? Come on in here, Mr. Comedic. Come on in.
And when you look at it, if you take prime Mayweather, and you take prime Mike Tyson, and you put those guys in an open field, I think Mayweather wins the fight over time, right? If you put Mayweather and Tyson in an open field, I think Mayweather wears Tyson down. He moves around. Tyson can't catch him. He beats Tyson eventually. But if you put those motherfuckers in the closet, the Boerboel wins every time. You know what I'm saying? If you put them in a house where the Corso can't run away and wear down the Boerboel, if you lock them in a closet and only one comes out, Mike Tyson comes out, right? Mike Tyson comes out
every day, all day,
every time. If you put them in a big open field, Mayweather wins 8 out of 10 times. He wears Tyson down. Tyson can't catch him. He hits and moves around. The fight takes 20 hours. Mayweather wins unless Tyson grabs a hold of him and fucks him up, right? But you lock him in the closet, that stamina doesn't matter. Tyson wins 100 million times out of 100 million times.
100 million times.
Out of 100 million times.
It's just besides the way that they have been equipped, the way that they are capable, the capabilities that arrive with the strength, the size, the power. You know what I'm saying? That in close quarters, hands down, Mayweather don't stand a chance. So it doesn't make one so much better than the other. It's about the situation, and that's why it's situation.
1,100 square foot house, 900 to 1,500 foot square house. The Boerboel is a king, room to room, destroying everything that comes in a window, destroying everything. He doesn't get tired in a 1,100 square foot house, which is where we're at nowadays. How many people live on farms or ranches or this stuff where they need a dog that can run 6 miles, right, to chase down what it needs to chase down, or behind that? You got to look at the where you live at, where these animals are going to be live at, and what you need it to be done.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that 9 times out of 10, my whole thing is it's 2024. You daughter is out there walking the dog down the street, church lady or whoever, right? What junkie or habitual offender, whatever, you know what I'm saying, is about to run up on you with your dog? And I just don't see it happen. They're not looking for, let's say he got a knowledge and understanding of the way that dogs behave, and he's got the so
I thought we had a guest coming on or something.
I'm waiting on him. I'm looking for you. Where is you at? No.
And remember, at Boerboel Breakdown and Discussions, we love opposing opinions. There's no animosity, no hate. This is what we do. We break down and discuss, and we can agree to disagree, right? We can agree to disagree politely. So we love opposing views. You don't have to think the same way we do, act the same way we do, because we're either going to get you to learn from us or we're going to learn from you. But you come on this show, somebody going to learn. Somebody going to learn. It might be us. We might learn, but somebody going to learn.
Man, I really want the brother to come because he got a lot of experience. He got multiple different dogs. He's a Corso, man. He's a Rottweiler, man. He got that.
I'd love to hear from him.
He said he's trying to come in. Maybe try it on Facebook, bro. If you can, we would love to have you. All love, bro. I've been thinking, me and you have been rapped way a long time ago. But like I was saying, just adapting to the different roles and environments. When we start to select it for a dog strictly for one purpose, strictly to breeding to a one standard, these are the reasons that the breeds have failed. Everybody, when we get into an issue, we don't have, like you said, no solutions for our issue, no solution for our problems. We done bred ourselves in the corner. Now all English Mastiffs is prone to certain obesity, prone to hip dysplasia, prone to this, prone to heart problem, prone to cancer. When you start talking about different breeds, you know what I mean?
And if you own a Corso, you are supposed to say the Corso is better than a Boerboel. You're supposed to say this or that, or you shouldn't be breeding a Corso. Now that doesn't mean you're right, but that's what you should be saying. That's what you should believe. If you're breeding a certain breed of dog, you should be believing that dog is the best suited for whatever it is you're talking about.
And that's all I'm saying. Breeders, it's different from a breeder where you just got a dog. You're not really a breeder because you got some puppies. We're gonna stop throwing that term around, and everybody that said that they're a breeder, listen.
You got a male and a female, you're a kennel. You got a male and a female, you're a kennel. So I'm not close to this goal yet, but there was a breeder one time that's been breeding Boerboels and the Corsos for a long time. I'm not going to say his name, but he said, I don't want to hear shit from you until you had 50 litters. This is when I was like 2 or 3, right? I was like 2 or 3. I'm right at about I'm at about 25, 30 now. I know you way past that, Jay, but shit, he told I don't want to hear nothing that come out your mouth until you have 50 litters. And back then I was like, that's kind of harsh. That's kind of, come on, bro. But now I understand it. I understand it. There's a difference between somebody that has dozens and dozens of litters and somebody that has, a male and a female, and they're about to put them together when they can, right? There's a difference between that.
Yeah, big time.
Give me 1 second here.
Okay, go ahead. Take care of your business. So, poor buddy.
I'm just about to bring a little catch real quick.
Go ahead, grab them. So one of the things that I'm saying, the long of the short is purity is an illusion. Purity, breed standards, all of these things are commercial terms. This is rooted in capitalism. This is about establishing your dog as better than the next person's dog. It really has nothing to do with the true value of the dog, right? We're not even thinking about how does this dog perform. We're taking the dog, we enter it into conformation competition. We're looking at the aesthetics. As
a breeder to my own program, right? As a breeder to my own program, I know that at 3 weeks old, this is exactly what I'm going to have. At 3 weeks old, every time, this is what it's going to look like. Just turned 3 weeks old. I know what I'm going to get. Look to what my program is going to hold. This is what I'm going to get every time.
Oh yeah, and I see it reoccurring in your program.
Litter after litter.
Hey, we got our guest.
Okay,
he's in here.
So I can talk.
He didn't pop in. What's going on? Introduce yourself. The force multiplier. He is not a joke. This guy I've been watching, bro. Much love for you, big bro. Much love. I see you feeding deer, going out. I mean, just picking them up. I I don't know what happened to you, bro. I don't know what was going on. I seen them harassing you. You doing your thing regardless, cooking up, feeding the dogs. You got to tell them about yourself, bro, before we get into this. Let them know who you is. Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's lagging a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you good. I was just saying, I was talking about what you do.
Hey, brother, how's it going?
Can you hear, bro? Brandon.
Yeah, I can hear you, but like your I can see you, but then your voice is coming in super late. So I don't know when you stop talking. Because I think like
it's all good, man. But I was just saying, about who you is. Introduce yourself and tell them about your breeding program, though.
Yeah, man. Hey, let me come out and come back in because it's still lagging.
Okay, come on out and come back in. How about now? But yeah, so the whole thing, what I was saying, bro, and you tell me your thoughts on this, because I've been doing my homework, I've been doing my research about the whole idea of pure breed, purity, right? And I said that this is nothing but a commercial term about assessing value. Here we go. Bro, can you hear? Say something. Say something. Say something, bro.
Yeah, it's still lagging.
All right,
just take the floor then, brother. Just take the floor.
Yeah, go ahead and stay your peace, bro.
Yeah. I ain't got a lot of time, but I did want to tap in, man. But let me say this first, man. Hey, look, man, I love Boerboels. You know what I'm saying? I love Boerboels 100%. But the thing for me about the Boerboel is more so the compliance of the Boerboel. For me, for the Boerboels that I've had, like you said, I've had Rex. He was my first Boerboel. But I've had 6 Boerboels, I think, and every single one of them across the board. When it comes to compliance, they're not the easiest dogs for me to train. They have a strong willpower. They're more independent thinking type dogs, right? Which, if you really look at the history of the dog, that's kind of what they were bred for, to be more independent thinkers. As opposed, hey, it's all right. Hey, Jaja, it's all right. As opposed to the Corso, where they were made to be more of a companion dog. So for me, the difference is it's not necessarily that one is better than the other, right? Because like you said, they're the same, but they're different, right? For me, I would use a Boerboel more so for an estate guardian, which means I'm not going to have it on a leash. You see what I'm saying? I would let it roam the yard, roam the house, and let it do what it's really bred to do, right? It's really a Mastiff livestock guardian type dog, right? That's kind of where the origins came from, right? Whereas the Corso, they were bred a little bit different. They were bred to be more companion type dogs. So they're much more biddable, right? They want to please you. Boerboels don't really want to please you, at least not the ones I've had. They want to please themselves. So that's the major difference, that I was talking about, in the dogs.
Bro, yeah, thank you for that too, because I think you made a good point, right? I think that's a good point, because in my experience, the Boerboel is the way that you train a Boerboel has a lot to do with that bond, that ability to communicate. Like the dog has to have an interest in your well-being. It's a way that you communicate with a Boerboel that's very different than a lot of dogs. But I mean, like you said,
Boerboel is a make it make sense. When you tell me to do something, make it make sense, right? I'm not just gonna do it necessarily because you said do it. Does this actually benefit you right now for me to do what you're telling me to do? Does it help accomplish my role as guarding you?
Right. So is you a qualified leader? So bro said, hey, I want to thank Brandon for taking time out. He didn't have much time, but hey, bro, we're gonna get you back on here. Hecker from Comedic Kennels.
We
And
need some more opposing views.
yeah, I want to hear about. I mean, that was he made some good points, but I think the fundamental of the difference in the Corso and the Boerboel is that the Boerboel doesn't have that herding, that is strong of a herding background as much as the Corso does. I believe, you know, in my study of the Corso, I may be right, I may be wrong, I may not be right, or might be right, might be wrong. But I believe that some of the original dogs had some herding dogs in there, some shepherd or some Malinois or something. Because if you look at the muzzles on those original dogs, you look at the way that they respond, you know, the pursuing game, that's herding instinct. Whereas I feel like the Boerboel doesn't have as much of that.
Yeah.
Which is my personal opinion. But Boer buddy, so listen, we getting close to the wrap up. We're gonna, big bro, what you want? You did we touch everything that you wanted?
I think this was a good warm-up show to be back. We missed 2 weeks. This is a good warm-up show to get back in the saddle.
Yeah, for sure. I think we on our way though. We got some good stuff coming up. I got a regular person that we're gonna interview. Big bro, you got some people that you want to bring on. I don't know. Did you catch the episode that we had, Dr. Elon Armstrong?
I got to look at a little bit of it today.
Yeah, and she also has a Corso in the Boerboel, and you know she's not in the protection or anything like that. But see, this is everyone has a valid perspective. If there is no right, there is no wrong.
Yeah,
that's my personal belief when it comes to something like your ideal dog. We've been trying to do this purebred dog thing for 200 years. We look at the English Mastiff, we look at the other Mastiff breeds, basically have lost totally their ability to perform and function. You start talking about the Boerboel, it definitely has something special about it. There's something unique about the Boerboel. Whereas and we want to keep it intact.
Yeah.
As a breeder, you could be breeding towards the standard, towards the ideal breed standard for you looking for perfection, or you could be breeding towards the perfect dog for yourself. But these standards, the priorities of your breeding program are what define you as a breeder and what defines your dog.
Yeah.
If we don't learn from the lessons of the past, we bound to suffer the same fate. And the Boerboel is a very this different dog because of the way that it's being selected for and the way that it's being bred. So that's my 2 cents for the day.
Valuable 2 cents.
Yeah, it is 2 cents though, you know. Yeah, and this is what's going on. Hey, bro, yeah, shout out to NWA King Corsos, y'all definitely, bro. I'm trying to keep up with your channel. I'm trying to watch every episode, man. I'll be putting them on 2x so I can get through it. And man, you just you're a beast on the content. Very valuable information, though. Some great perspectives, and you know, so I'm aiming to like do more of what you've been doing. But y'all get a chance, go check out NWA County Corsos. Got some great interviews on there. He even got a bird breeder on there that talks about breeding. But yeah, man, we working, big bro, man. I'm so glad to see you, man. You know, have you back on the show, man.
Back on the air, man. Let's keep it rolling. Let's do it, man. Boerboel breakdown and discussion. The must have show for Boerboels.
The best Boerboel show on the planet.
Yes, sir, by far.
Yeah, and I missed you last week, bro. I'm happy to have you back, bro. You know, shout out to all of the exotic Boerboel family, you know, glorified Boerboels, Richard Boerboels, Connecticut exotic, all my family of butcher Boerboels in Wyoming, top notch, everybody that supported us. We've here for y'all. Glad to have you back, bro. We're gonna do more of what we plan to do. Where is Mr. Price? I ain't seen him today. Yeah, Mr. Price, we looking for you, man. We gonna...
He said we took a couple of weeks break. He took one. So hey, we'll get everybody back in on at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. You got anything that you want to say before we go?
It's good to be black. It is good to be black. It's good to be any color you are, but it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Love talking. I missed the show, man, the last 2 weeks. I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to doing more shows. Got to work out some technicalities, man, and we're going to just keep rising to the top doing what we do. Appreciate you, brother, always feeding me knowledge, making me stronger in what we do. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, big bro. I'm trying to just keep us sharp, man. You know, iron sharpens iron, man. We gotta be ready because guess they're coming. They're gonna be trying to poke holes in our game, chinks in our armor, find the weakness.
Every day.
But they don't know we armed with information. Look, yo, I don't play. Look, these are my books. This is just what I'm reading right now. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got all kinds of notebooks. I got notebooks. So I'm gonna do my homework. You better do yours if you're trying to come for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, big bro, we here though. We at Boer Buddies. Appreciate y'all for joining. Thank you so much. I hope that this was a valuable, entertaining, and informative show. If you got questions, you got suggestions, please let us know. We want to do more for you. We want to do more. We want to do better. We want to become the best that we can be, and we always open to learning. I'm gonna miss y'all though. I'm gonna miss y'all, but guess what? I'm working harder, and I'm gonna keep on doing more. Much love though, Boer Buddies. Much love. Bro, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother. We'll holler at y'all later.
All right, Boer Buddies. Until next week. Hey, listen, don't wait. Stay great, stay busy, stay active. You never know when is gonna be the last chance that we gonna get.
No rush, go and move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves.